If I ask you what your niche is and you tell me funny mugs or trendy retro designs or motivational shirts, we need to talk because I've got some tough love for you. That, my friend, is not a niche. That's a style, a vibe, a product category, but it's not what's going to get you long-term sales on Etsy. And if you've already picked a niche, but your shop still isn't getting traction, this video might just be the reality check you need. In the most supportive way, of course. I'm going to break down the biggest niche mistake new sellers make, why it's actually super common, and how to fix it fast so that you can start building a shop that makes sense to you and to your customers. You don't need a million designs. You don't need to chase every trend. You just need to know who you're designing for. And right now, that might be the missing piece. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Mandy, a busy boy mom and active top 1% seller on Etsy. I've spent years learning what works, and so now I am on a mission to help creative entrepreneurs like you feel confident in growing your Etsy business with print on demand so that your products can get seen, loved, and sold without the overwhelm. So let's talk about this mistake because it can be a little sneaky. Most new sellers think they've chosen a niche, but what they've actually chosen is a product type or a trend or a surface level aesthetic. Here's what that looks like sometimes. I sell cute shirts with motivational quotes, or my shop is all about funny designs on mugs and shirts and mouse pads and wall art. It's funny stuff people will love. Or I make aesthetic mugs because everyone loves coffee. I get it. That feels like a niche, but it's not customer identity focused. It's not specific enough to create a deeper connection with your potential customer. And that connection is what gets your item to sell, to know that your product is for them. Remember, Etsy is a search engine. People don't just go there looking for aesthetic quotes. They're searching for gifts for their best friend who just had a baby, or a coffee mug for their rescue dog obsessed coworker, or a bachelorette shirt for their outdoorsy sister's lake weekend. They're not searching for something generic. They're there with intention and searching by identity. If your niche doesn't clearly connect to who your product is for, it's going to feel vague, and vague rarely really works out, especially for new sellers. Now, let's pause for a second because if you've been keeping things broad on purpose, I get it. It feels safer to cast a really wide net and go really broad, right? You think if I make something for everyone, I'll reach more people. I won't miss out on sales. Or maybe you're multi-passionate like me and you don't want to limit yourself. Totally valid. But you can still have products and designs that each speak to a specific buyer while still building a shop that serves more than one type of customer. Because here's the basic principle. Broad designs don't attract more buyers. So ironically, the thing you're doing to try to reach more people is often the very thing keeping you invisible. Broad designs blend in, whereas specific designs connect and stop the scroll. And connection is what drives conversions. So instead of trying to reach everyone, let's focus on making one person feel like, wait, this was made for me, because that's what gets saved, favorited, added to cart, and bought on repeat. So, if a niche isn't just a trend or a design or a product, what is it? A real niche is about who you're creating for, not just what you're creating. It's not just funny quotes. It's funny quotes for millennial moms juggling homeschool and iced coffee. It's not just cute dog shirts. It's gifts for dog moms who foster rescue pit bulls. And it's not just Y2K aesthetic, it's nostalgia core birthday shirts for women in their 40s who remember flip phones. See the difference? Your niche is the customer identity. It's the story behind the search. It's the reason someone goes to Etsy looking for something specific that Target just can't give them. This is where my 5 go-to niche themes come in handy. Hobbies like gardening or reading or thrifting. Professions like nurses, teachers, therapists. Pet parents, but get specific, so like doodle moms, cat dads, reptile owners. Life milestones or events, think bachelorettes, weddings, engagements, retirements, first babies. And personal passions like faith or advocacy or social justice, neurodiversity, or sober living. Start with just one of these big, broad themes. Then pick a real human identity behind it and ask, what would they wear, gift, or smile at when they see it? When you shift your focus to who, the what becomes a little more obvious. You stop chasing randomness and start building that deeper connection. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, well, cool, I've already made 100 listings and I think I've done it all wrong. Deep breath. You are not doomed. You might just be at the pivot point of the journey. And that's a good thing because now you can get intentional. So here's how to adjust without feeling like you have to scrap everything. Step 1, zoom out and reassess your current niche or niches if you have a more general shop. Look at your shop as if you were a customer. Would you know who it's for by looking at your different sections and the designs that you're creating? If the answer's kind of, that might be a clue. Remember, it's okay to serve multiple audiences in your shop, but each listing and each section should still have a customer identity or specific theme associated with it, like we talked about earlier. Step 2, use eRank or other similar keyword tools and start typing in ideas based on those real customer identities like mother baby nurse or dachshund gifts or pharmacy tech. Think about people that you know in your life, or think about hobbies or professions that you have or have had, and look at the data. I use this broad search as a starting point to validate broad volume of demand and see if there are searches taking place, and then look for keyword opportunities that I can leverage if I decide to pursue that niche. In this part, you're really looking for strong search volume, low to moderate competition if you can find it, because that's where you can find a pocket of potential. Step 3, validate it on Etsy. Search that niche phrase directly on Etsy. Do you see listings with bestseller tags or in carts now or popular now badges? I have a new tool that I've been exploring within Profitry to see this information at a glance, and I'm finding it really helpful to see those details. I already use Profitry to monitor the profitability of my shop, but they just added a new function called Product Finder. I'm a very visual person, so I love that they have a whole column devoted to identifying demand. So anytime I see something with visible signs there, I use it as an opportunity to explore that niche further, because that's real world proof people are actually buying in that niche. If you don't see those signals, pause and maybe rethink it, because here's the thing: no demand equals no sales. It doesn't matter how cute the design is, if no one is looking for it, it doesn't matter. Step 4, realign your shop. Create 15 to 20 new listings that speak clearly to one customer identity at a time. Make sure your titles, tags, and mockups all reflect that shift. If you've got specific niches in your shop getting traction, don't ignore those. Build on them. If you've been working with general designs or products and are realizing you need to adjust, pick one of those 5 themes we talked about earlier, identify a couple specific niches within that, validate your demand, and then start infiltrating those niches. You don't have to delete the old listings just yet. Just stop building randomly and start building with intention. Think of this as the moment your shop grows up a little. You're not just throwing spaghetti at the Etsy wall anymore. You're designing with purpose and with a clear customer identity in mind. If you want to walk through a full 30-day growth plan together, I will link that video for you. It's totally free here on my channel and also comes with a free guide to help you plan out your listing path towards growth. So make that the next video you watch. Now I know this might feel a little disheartening at first, like, ugh, I've already wasted so much time, I should have known better. But no, my friend, you're not behind. You're just building clarity the way it actually happens, through messy middle progress. None of us have it all figured out in the beginning. My job is simply to help you navigate that path a little faster with structure and less overwhelmed. So don't think of this as a setback. Think of it more like a launch pad. Every listing you've already made, it taught you something. Maybe you learned what doesn't sell. Maybe you figured out how to use Canva a little faster. Maybe you learned that you really don't want to make sarcastic gym tank tops for the rest of your life. All of that counts. And all of that is data and feedback. You're not starting over, you're starting smarter, and you're building that momentum. So instead of beating yourself up for what you didn't know, pat yourself on the back for being the kind of seller who's willing to learn and pivot. Because the ones who win on Etsy, they're not the ones who get it perfect on the first try. They're the ones who keep adjusting until it actually works and clicks. You're doing that right now. So if this episode hit a little close to home and you're realizing your niche might need a little refining, good. That awareness means you're ready to build a shop that actually works. And if you're still in the messy middle, still figuring out who you're designing for and what's clicking, that's amazing. You're in motion, and that's where all the growth happens. Inside my Simply Thrive membership, I help sellers like you stop spinning your wheels and start building real momentum with monthly niche ideas, listing strategies, trend breakdowns, and tools like my AI BizBot besties to help you research faster, design smarter, and build in consistency to get your listings sold. You don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to guess your way through it. I'll drop the link to join below in case that's helpful for you. And if you're not quite ready for that, no worries. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button because I've got more videos coming to help you grow your shop without the chaos. In the meantime, target that specific customer identity, validate demand, and keep creating with intention. Thanks so much for being here. I'm genuinely cheering you on, and I'll see you in the next one.